Hello, Comics Launch listeners. So recording this episode is very special for me for a couple of reasons. First, because I'm just so happy for Tyler and the new addition to his family, and honored he asked me to help pick up some of the slack while he settles in with his new child. And second, because I stepped away from my own podcast, The Business of Art, after my father's death in November of 2017. And this is the first episode of anything I've recorded since then. So thank you, Tyler, and congratulations. Now, let's get on with the good stuff. Let's talk about mindset shifts. Today, I'm going to hopefully destroy 3 limiting beliefs that prevent you from being good at sales and reframe them so you can stop thinking that sales are gross. Because let's face it, we all pretty much think sales and marketing is gross, or at least we did when we first started out. Some of us get over that quickly, and others have been doing this for 30 plus years and still think it's true. I thought it was true for a long time, pretty much until I turned 29. And why was that year so important? Because it was the year that my third business failed. Now, when you have one business fail, it might be bad luck. With 2 businesses, it could just be horrible timing. But when 3 businesses fail, you need to look deep inside yourself and see what you are doing wrong. And that's what I did. I spent my 20s creating things. I wrote and directed. I was a professional photographer. I even executive produced a television station. However, no matter what I did, nothing actually worked to make money. Back then, I set an internal clock with myself. I told myself I could do anything I wanted until I turned 29. But if I turned 30 and I still couldn't make anything work, it was time to get a job. Well, when I turned 29, I still couldn't make anything work, so I had to get a job. Unfortunately, a guy with no solid employment experience who failed 3 companies with degrees in journalism and sociology, isn't that appealing to an employer? Crazy, right? The only jobs I could land were sales jobs, because they'll basically take anybody. Luckily, I wanted sales jobs, because when I looked inside myself, I realized that while I could create amazing work, I couldn't sell it to anybody. And if I really wanted to have a sustainable company, I needed to master sales. A very smart person once told me, in order to be good in business, you have to be great at 2 things. The thing you're good at, and sales and marketing. Some people still don't believe that I was ever bad at sales, but I swear to you, I was way worse than you are right now, no matter how bad you are. It took me 3 years of flailing before I finally locked in on these 3 mindset shifts that turned everything around for me. After I internalized them, I went from a middling salesperson to the best in my company. I rose through the ranks from sales trainer to sales manager. Eventually, I opened my own office, and after that, my own company. But in order to get there, I had to overcome these same 3 limiting beliefs I'm going to tell you about today. Before I tell you what they are, you need to do one thing for me. You need to believe you can overcome these beliefs. I know it's going to sound corny, but if you want to achieve it, you must believe it first. If you listen to the rest of this lesson thinking this is stupid or this can never work, guess what? It won't work. However, if you come in with an open mind, you might just learn something that can change your life. All right, so what are these beliefs? Here are the 3 myths I'm going to break down for you today. Selling is gross, rejection is failure, and money is bad. Now, this is pre-recorded, so I can't hear your response, but I want you to stop for a second and think about which of those are true for you. And I want you to say it out loud. You got it? All right, it's very important that you remember what you said, okay? Now, are you ready for me to bust these myths? Then let's dive in. Let's start with the idea that selling is gross. Is that one you're having problems with? It's a common one. And the truth is, selling can be gross, especially when you come at people with a sales-first mentality. What is that? It means that you start every conversation with a new person trying to get a sale. It's like going into a cocktail party and immediately yelling at somebody to buy your book without even introducing yourself. You'd never do that, right? Of course not. That's going to turn everybody off and make them think you're a dick. If you were at a cocktail party, you would talk to people as if they were humans, get to know them, and engage in a conversation, right? And that's exactly what you need to do with your own projects as well. Even though it's been popularized in movies and television, sales first is a horrible way to run your business and a horrible way to sell. Luckily, there's a better way. Instead of being sales first, I want you to think about being value first. This is called the value first mentality. This means that before you do anything else, you try to make your customers' lives better in a meaningful way. That might mean just showing them cool comics they might like. It could mean doing a deep dive into your favorite story and explaining how it works and why. It could be giving them a reading list of the best comics of all time. But whatever it is, you are giving them free and valuable information, just like you would at a cocktail party. In exchange, they are growing to trust in you, and you are becoming more likable in their eyes. Trust is the key to sales, and by building up trust with readers, they are more likely to buy from you, all without you ever having to sell them. And that is the secret to sales not being gross. By offering value instead of forcing sales, you can make people trust you. In return, more people will magnetize themselves to you, and you'll make more sales as a result. And if you do that, sales become much easier and more fun. Okay, let's move on to myth number 2. Rejection is bad. Is this the one you had the most trouble with? This one is near and dear to my heart. It's what stopped me from moving my own business forward for far too long. I can't even begin to imagine how many opportunities I didn't apply for because I was scared of what people thought of me and scared of them rejecting me. Grants not applied for, submissions never submitted, projects never launched. It's really quite sad to think about. The fear of rejection held me back for so long. And it's not without good reason, right? I mean, it's scary to share your work with somebody. What if they don't like it? It's like opening your soul to somebody and letting them stomp it onto the ground. That fear is real, and a little bit of it is healthy. It shows you're on the right path. I am petrified more days than I would like to admit. But I move forward anyway, because the truth that I've found is that rejection is good. Rejection means you are closer to finding the people that will resonate with your message. And when it comes to selling more comics, people resonating with your message is everything. Let's take an example. Do you know Stephen King? I mean, you might. He's a semi-famous writer, had a couple of movies made, TV shows, sold some books. In fact, he sells on average 1 to 2 million books every time he launches something, without fail, no matter how bad or good. Some things he sells more of, and others he sells a little less of, but his average is around 2 million books with every launch. And that sounds great, right? I mean, is there anybody alive who doesn't want to sell 2 million books every time they launch something? Well, it is great. It's an amazing accomplishment. However, when you do the math, let's just say it's less great. See, when you factor out children and illiterate people, there are about 2 billion people in this world. And we all know that Stephen King is translated into every language imaginable. So his audience is 2 billion people, and he only sells a couple million books. Which means Stephen King is only selling a book to 1 out of every 1,000 people. And that means he's not selling to 999 people out of 1,000. And if you look at it that way, that's a horrible statistic, right? Except Stephen King doesn't see it that way. He focuses on the 1 person in every 1,000 that buys his books. And by doing that, it's easier for him to handle the rejection. Because he knows his books are not for everybody. But he also knows his books are for a lot of people. And that's what you need to do. You need to focus on the right people. If you focus on finding the right people, knowing that most will say no, then rejection won't be hurtful or scary. Instead, every rejection will bring you closer to finding somebody who loves your work. And if you focus on those people who love your work, rejection becomes a lot easier to take, especially when you find people who love your work. When you find people who love your work, who really resonate with it, all that rejection is worth it. But you won't find them if you don't go through a lot of rejection first. And the more successful you become, the more rejection you will face. Okay, now on to the third and final limiting belief that prevents you from being an awesome salesperson and making more sales. This one is tough because it's deeply ingrained in every creative. It's the idea that money is bad. Nod your head if you're having problems with this one. The idea that money isn't evil. This is the hardest one to break because most people I talk to aren't money motivated. More than that, people have been telling them forever that artists aren't supposed to care about money, and that if you do care about money, then you are a sellout. But here's the thing, artists still have to eat. They still have to pay rent. They still maybe want to go out on a date every once in a while. But for whatever reason, artists just don't care about money. In fact, they are money averse. What they care about is making something they're passionate about. Does this sound like you? If it does, then let me ask you a question. Do you want more people to appreciate your work? Do you want more people to talk about what you do? Do you want fans to come up and rave about how much your work has changed them? If so, I have good news. Because money isn't the goal of anything that I do. Money is the byproduct of finding people to love my work. If I find people to love my work, are passionate about it, and want to support it, the money takes care of itself. I don't even bother with the money part of it. I focus on growing my audience of rabid fans who love what I do and want to buy from me. The more of those I find, the more money I make. But it's never about the money. The money is a byproduct of a happy customer and happy fans. If you focus on those customers, then life becomes much easier. If you focus on pleasing them, making things for them, and making sure they are cared for, then you'll make money. It's as simple as that. I mean, in reality, it's really hard. It's really hard to go out there and face the rejection and all of that stuff day after day, but it's not complicated. It's not about the money. It's not about the rejection. It's not about the sales. It's about building an amazing audience and finding more ways to get people into your ecosystem. And you can do that. I know you can do that. Do you feel better now? Do you feel ready to have the most successful launch of your career? Awesome. Well, I hope this helps. If it does, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Russell Nolte, and let me know. Also, if you want to learn more about how to sell better without feeling gross about it, I have a book called Sell Your Soul, How to Build Your Creative Career. You can get it at Amazon by just going to GoSellYourSoul.com. And I also have a brand new course I just launched called Sell More Cool Things, which is the implementation guide to my book. I'm going to let Tyler talk a little bit about that and give you the link to find out more. Thanks so much, everyone. And again, congratulations, Tyler. Thank you so much for allowing me to serve your audience. I love the Comics Launch family. In fact, my book and course were made with them in mind. And I'm so happy you've been able to add another member to yours. Have a great day, everybody.